Recently, I hosted an open relationship quest where I share tips and techniques and guidance for anyone who wants to explore non-monogamy in the most harmonious and balanced way. And I gotta be honest, I was quite shocked to see how many people got triggered and made assumptions. So first, people assume that I am polyamorous, and secondly, that I was saying that open relationships are better than monogamous relationships, which I did not say. Okay, I maybe did say it a few years ago. I won't lie, when I first learned and got into open relationships, I loved the idea, and I probably did create some content where I was praising open relationships, but with the experience that I've had over the last few years, I learned that none of the relationships is better, and in no way do I ever imply that non-monogamy is better than monogamy, or do I ever imply whether people are naturally monogamous or polyamorous. So I wanted to make this video to address this, because what I realized is there's still a lot of assumptions, and I actually want to have a more open conversation, which is also why we had this open relationships quest. Okay, the first thing, am I polyamorous? I did relate openly a few years ago, and at this time I really enjoyed it. I really got a lot from this, but again, through years of different experiences, right now I choose monogamy. Or in fact, I choose what is called a monogamish relationship. If that's a new term for you, I will actually go back to this and explain a little bit more. So anything you do in life is motivated by one or both of these things. You're either moving towards pleasure or away from the pain. And literally everything we do is because of one of these two. And that is also true for the relationships. So for some people, a monogamous relationship will be bringing them more pleasure, meeting more of their desires while shielding them from the pain. And for other people, it's going to be the opposite. An open relationship will be meeting more of their desires and will not trigger some of their deepest wounds. So in my case, for example, when I got into open relationships, and I will be honest, I wasn't fully aware of this. I wasn't honest with myself, but now I see it after a few years. I know now what I was doing. But back at that time, I wasn't ready to commit, and I was scared to be in a relationship. So open relating actually fit my pleasure and my pain perfectly. Then I'm someone who leans towards an anxious attachment style, so I have abandonment wounds. So again, open relating was just something that shielded me from having to face this. So basically, the partners that I had, they all had the main partner, so there was like no threat of ever getting into the real relationship. I didn't have skills to repair relationships. So if there was ever any conflict, I was just like, okay, I'm done, and I would move to the next partner. And then I never had to really feel the pain of losing someone because I always had another person. So this is why open relating worked for me so well a few years ago when I was doing it. And then, you know, things started changing and I became ready and I wanted to commit. And so I got into the relationship, which wasn't fully a monogamous relationship, and I got triggered like so deeply. I didn't feel emotionally safe. My nervous system was non-stop agitated, and I realized that now that I want commitment, so my desires have changed, open relationship isn't the best container for me anymore. And so this is why I realized that I actually, now where I am in life now, I prefer monogamy. But because I did relate openly, and I used to live in a tantric community that is extremely open sexually, there's some experiences that I had that I actually wanted to keep, that felt really good for me. Or you could look at it from a different perspective. Some like ideas of a monogamous relationship felt too strict and too tight for me. And so this is why, like I said before, I prefer a monogamish relationship. which means that you make space for experiences that don't fit in like your traditional definition of monogamy. So these can be things such as partners discussing openly who they are attracted to, or maybe being able to flirt with other people. This may mean going for sex parties or having threesomes, right? So these are these different things that traditionally we would already consider cheating or breaking the container of a monogamous relationship, but you can make space for them. So what I have learned over the years of experimenting with both monogamy and non-monogamy is that ultimately, we get to choose the container that works best for us. So basically what's been happening for a really long time is that the society gave you one definition of a relationship, which for us it's two people and, ideally a heterosexual couple. And so if you ever wanted to be in a relationship, you had to fit into that definition, which honestly looks sort of like, the story of Cinderella, if you remember, where her sister tried to fit into the slipper and one of them cut her toes off and the other one cut the heel off. It's like, it's crazy, right? Because we know we have different feet and we need different models and sizes. And so if it's normal and accepted in our society that our feet are different and we can take care and cater to our feet to make sure they're comfortable, why can't we do the same with our heart and cater to our unique needs for love and expression? The way I look at it is that as long as everything is open and we have consent and no one is getting hurt, then love and connect in whatever way that you want. So my intention is to help people understand what is the best way of connecting, what is the best relationship for every person based on where they are, not because I want to impose any form of a definition on anyone. And so as you can see, it's not that monogamy is better or non-monogamy is better. I even think that most of these conversations, it's just fighting about labels, which I think we can just remove and instead tune into yourself right now, also understanding that you will change. So tune into who you are today. What is it that you truly desire? What makes you feel loved and filled? And then what are your wants? What are your fears? And then see what type of relating, what type of a container will work best for you. And again, that was the intention for the Open Relationships Challenge that we had. It wasn't to impose anything. It wasn't to convince anyone that they're better or worse. So yeah, I wanted to address all of this because I found that there's just so much misunderstanding and so much judgment. And from my end, my big intention with this work is to empower you to create the best intimate life. And the best intimate life for you is gonna look differently than it does for other people. Now, my love, if you would like to actually see what we were doing during this Open Relationship Quest, this is now over, but all the materials are available inside the School of Intimacy. So if you want to see what we were doing, and we have lots of training videos, we have guest interviews, there's also Q&A with me inside of this. So if you'd like to access all of this and learn more about non-monogamy and also monogamish relationships, because we discussed this as well, you can still access this. So you can go to www.magdakay.com/school and you can join the school. It's a membership platform. We have about 50 hours of content, amazing courses, and among all of the library, you're also going to find the training for open relationships. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you will give yourself permission to live your intimate life the way that it fits you the most. Please prioritize your desires and please be mindful of your wounds. This is the biggest intention I have for all of my clients and for all of you guys who are here watching my videos. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking part in this conversation. Again, if you like this video, please like it and please subscribe to my channel if you would like more videos like this. Thank you, my love, so much, and I'll see you next week.